Hello everybody, this is lesson number 6. In this lesson we're going to talk about a miracle. Today your German is going to be exploded. I hope you have watched the previous 5 lessons. Otherwise we're going to have to watch those lessons in order to understand, or so as to understand what is happening or what is going on in this lesson. So very important. As a reminder, I'm going to tell you to go and watch the previous 5 lessons, because they are like building blocks and really important for your understanding of these lessons. So if you remember, we talked about some verbs like machen, which was a regular verb. We also talked about fahren, which was an irregular verb. And we also talked about where this irregularity happens. We also talked about wollen, which was a modal verb, which we conjugated in the previous lesson, if you remember. Now, one thing we're going to talk about today is how we basically conjugate these verbs in a sequence. So this sequence is the most important part of the process. If you know about this sequence, then you're good to go. But if somebody doesn't learn this sequence, there is not much to discover. Just remember that. Now here, oh my God, yeah. No big issues, okay. So this is number 1. If you remember, we said we have a sequence of the verbs in the lesson. In lesson number 1, we said Sie wollen, then we said Wollen Sie. This order is really important. Please don't change it, because we're going to follow the lessons as they are. Sie wollen, wollen Sie. Sie wollen nicht means you don't want. Wollen Sie nicht means don't you want. And also here we said was wollen Sie. And then we said was wollen Sie nicht. Yeah. So was wollen Sie and also was wollen Sie nicht. Just remember, guys. So here, really important. Now let me make the adjustments for the viewers' sake. Yeah. Oh, what a mess. Yeah. So here, what we can see here is Sie wollen, wollen Sie, Sie wollen nicht, wollen Sie nicht, was wollen Sie, and was wollen Sie nicht. Means you want, do you want, you don't want you want, or don't you want, what do you want, was wollen Sie, and what don't you want, was wollen Sie nicht. This is basically all the sentence formats we have in German. Now here, what we're going to do here is really amazing, or is going to amaze you. Now, we're going to start with ich will. Okay? Ich will means I want. Well, let's go here. Ich will means I want. Now, one of the mistakes people make is they think because they can say this. Now, you can say this easily. Sie wollen, wollen Sie, Sie wollen nicht, wollen Sie nicht. Was wollen Sie, was wollen Sie nicht. One thing to remember is, if you have practiced with this pronoun, which is basically the formal Sie here, the formal singular Sie, this has nothing to do with the first pronoun, which is ich. Just remember that. Now, if somebody can say these things easily, which you should be able to do by now, but this has nothing to do with the first person, with ich will. Now, I'm going to go and I'm going to conjugate the same thing. I'm going to conjugate the same actually subject in this sequence. Ich will ich. ich will nicht means I don't want. Will ich nicht. Don't I want. Will ich nicht. Was will ich? Was will ich? What do I want? Was will ich nicht? What don't I want? What do I want and what don't I want? Just remember. What do I want and what don't I want? Ich will will ich nicht. Was will ich and was will ich nicht? There is going to be a sentence which is going to be a connector between the first subject and the next subject. Sentence number 2 is going to be, sentence number 7 is going to be this repetition of sentence number 1. You say ich will. Now here denn. Denn means because. Imagine we're going to swimming pool and we are in swimming pool, you and I. And I say I want to jump in, or I want to dive. Do I want to dive? I don't want to dive. Don't I want to dive? I do want to dive. Why do I want to dive? Why don't I want to dive? I want to dive because after that you want to dive. So this then here with two N's means because. But this doesn't mean because after that. Ich will means I want, because after ich, according to the sequence of the pronouns, we have du. Du willst. Now, ich will. But this is just a simple scheme. This is going to be advanced in future, more advanced in future, definitely. So you say ich will, then means because you want. Does this make sense? Yes, because after ich, we have du. I want to do something because after me, after ich here, after this ich here, then du wants to do something, okay? Du willst. Now, what do we do here? This is just, yeah, that's the catch. So here, and again from the beginning, we say du willst. Now guys, du willst, willst du. Now, we don't want to do this again. We want to do this. So you say du willst means you want, or maybe not. Yeah. So this is number 1. You say du willst, willst du, du willst nicht, means you don't want. Now the same thing again. Willst du nicht. Now what do you want? Was willst du? And was willst du nicht? Now sentence number 7, as you may have guessed, or you might have guessed, is du willst, because after that, I mean, this then means only because will, will. We don't say or we say will. Basically, in British English we have it will. Now we have will, and this goes to the end, guys. So I don't want to make this lesson very long. You can continue this in future lessons. So everybody, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And what is the exercise? You basically come back to this lesson and you conjugate all of them. Ich will ich will nicht, will ich nicht, was will ich nicht. Sentence number 7 is ich will, denn du willst. Du willst, again here, 7 sentences we have. Du willst, willst du willst nicht, willst du nicht, was willst du and was willst du nicht. Now, you may say the focus of these lessons is on verbs. And I have explained in the very first lesson that verbs are the backbone of the language. Okay? The backbone of the language are the verbs. Just remember that. Okay, everybody, I'm gonna see you in the next lesson and I hope you enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also comment.